You ever have one of those brilliant middle-of-the-night ideas for a business? What if you could turn that idea into a fully formed company before you even finished your morning coffee? Well, there's a new AI platform called denovo that claims you can. So today, we're going to dig in and see if that's even remotely possible.
We've all been there, right? You're in the shower, on a walk, and then bam, it hits you. The perfect idea for an app, a service, a company. You can see it all, crystal clear. And for a second, it feels completely unstoppable.
But then, the sun comes up and that crushing reality starts to creep in. You think about the endless to-do list, writing a business plan, building a financial model, market research, logos, a landing page. And suddenly, that amazing idea gets buried under this mountain of work. That's the entrepreneur's dilemma, right there.
But what if you could just skip all that? What if the first 100 hours of grinding, thankless work could be crunched down into the time it takes to make a cup of coffee? That is the wild promise we're looking at right now.
This is the actual claim. Turn your idea into a real business in 8 minutes. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? 8 minutes, from a fleeting thought to a real, tangible, ready-to-go business. So the platform making this bonkers claim is called denovo. It's an AI system designed to take just a single sentence, your idea, and then build out basically everything you need to get that company off the ground. We're talking the plan, the brand, even the tech. Okay, so what do you really get in those 8 minutes? What's actually inside this business in a box? Let's pop the hood and take a look.
And I gotta warn you, when they say they build your business, they're not just talking about a couple Word docs. They mean pretty much everything you could possibly imagine. Just look at this. It's designed to be overwhelming. This isn't just a business plan. We are talking about a GitHub repo, the server set up on AWS, a full marketing plan, social media assets. It is an absolute fire hose of ready-to-use startup materials, all generated from one sentence.
Okay, to make sense of that chaos, you can really break it all down into 4 main buckets. First, strategy and finance. That's the brain of the company. Then you get branding and design, which is its face. Marketing and sales gives your company its voice. And finally, ops and tech. Well, that's the entire skeleton.
Denovo calls this whole thing an autonomous business OS. The best way to think about it is like having an AI co-founder, one whose only job is to do all that initial, boring, tedious setup work, but to do it perfectly and at, superhuman speed.
All right, so this all sounds amazing in theory. But here's the real question. Is any of it actually any good? Let's see how this thing performs in the real world by looking at some actual ideas that people have run through the platform.
And this is where it gets really crazy. The platform doesn't just build all the stuff, it also evaluates the idea itself and gives it a potential market valuation. It's basically telling you not just what your company could be, but what it could be worth. And the numbers, they are staggering. Carvana for tiny houses, valued at $26 million. A decentralized media protocol at $37 million. This isn't just a document generator. This AI is putting real-world multi-million-dollar price tags on these concepts.
Okay, let's just zoom in on one of these for a second. The AI Prompt Optimization SaaS. It's a super timely, really specific idea for what's happening in tech right now.
So denovo projects, it could make around $648 grand a year in recurring revenue. But that's not the stunning number here. The multiple is 17.8x. For context, that is insane. It means the AI understands that right now, investors are paying a massive premium for AI infrastructure tools, and it baked that market insight right into the valuation.
But that's not even the biggest one on the list. Not by a long shot. There was another idea someone submitted, a marketplace called Castly. A potential valuation of almost $200 million. Just let that sink in. An idea, probably just typed into a text box one afternoon, was analyzed and fleshed out into a venture worth nearly $250 million.
So what does this all mean for the future of starting things? What happens to the whole idea of a founder when the barriers to entry don't just get lowered, they get completely vaporized?
And here's the key takeaway. When all that foundational grunt work is automated, the founder is no longer the chief project manager of tedious tasks. Your role completely shifts. It moves from building the machine to actually steering it. The founders who win in this new world are going to be the best storytellers, the best leaders, the visionaries. So this is what the new startup journey looks like. Step 1 is the idea. That's still human.
Step 2, the entire launch phase, that's just handed off to AI automation. And then step 3, it's handed back to a human for the most important part, leadership and growth.
And look, this isn't some distant future theory. According to Denovo, more than 1,000 founders have already used this platform to launch their companies. It's happening right now. The game is actively changing as we speak.
Which leaves us all with a pretty massive question to chew on. If an AI can be your co-founder, handling everything from the business plan to the server code, what does it even mean to build a company anymore? And what's left for us to do?